This is the first episode of a series that I just started called Books I Had Trouble Getting Through. No, that's too long. Books that were sort of kind of good, but books that sort of suck? No. Books that I couldn't get through. Tinker, Tailor, Soldier, Spy by John Le Carre. Now, somewhere in my playlist I have a special for the James Bond 50th anniversary where I talk about the series as a whole. Now, John Le Carre actually started writing his spy novels as a sort of rebuttal to Ian Fleming's James Bond. When you read James Bond, and when you watch the movies too, this is still the same thing as in the books. There's always a clear good guy and a clear bad guy. Oh, you know you're the good guy. You know who the bad guys are, and you're going to go after them. This is your mission. Should you choose to accept it, go kill the bad guy. John Le Carre, his vision of the spy world is much different. It's much morally ambiguous. British intelligence isn't always making the right decisions, like the right moral decisions, and the bad guys may be very well in your own office, which is what this story deals with, which is in general just a mole in British intelligence. Now, even his main character, George Smiley, is the complete opposite of James Bond. You know, James Bond is suave and sophisticated and handsome. George Smiley is this balding, short, nearsighted, grumpy kind of old man. So, almost everything John Le Carre is doing is the complete opposite of Ian Fleming. This is John Le Carre's way of saying this is how real spies work and stuff. You won't find, daring escapes and awesome Bond moments and massive explosions or anything like that. This is more cloak and dagger. This is more sitting in a room with shifty eyes, trying to figure out who's who and what they're doing. That's interesting. I admire that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. The thing is, his writing was very dense. A lot of it, when you read something and it's too convoluted and you have to, your eyes kind of shift over again, you're like, wait a minute, what was he saying? Okay, yeah. Okay, what? No. And then I sort of wasn't paying attention. It's kind of like trying to pay attention to a very thick lecture in college. That's kind of what this book feels like. Now, I've read other stuff by John Le Carre, which was a lot better and a lot easier to read, such as The Spy Who Came In From the Cold. That's a short book, and that I would recommend being your first John Le Carre experience. Even still, there might be some things that might not be clear to you, because John Le Carre writes as though he assumes that you know what's going on in the spy world, and which isn't always clear to you. The characters make references to certain code words and things like that, and they're like, yeah, you know what you mean, yeah, I know what you mean, and you're like, I don't know what they mean. But then later on you come to realize what they're doing, and you're like, oh, I get it. It's more intellectually suspenseful, because you realize that spies, going undercover as a spy isn't really what we think of when we think of James Bond and Mission Impossible. Going undercover as a spy is making the other person believe every single thing about you, from not just your cover name and things like that, just the way you drink your tea, the way you talk, the way you react. Every subtle reaction is crucial when being a spy, and that's the real suspense behind John Le Carre's novels. And that's why they say he's, the greatest spy master, fictional spy writer. Why he's the greatest spy thriller writer. Why he's the greatest writer of spy novels. So I only got through the first 100 pages. I don't know when I'm gonna pick it up again. It's kind of like English, kind of dull. I mean, I don't want to say that in a bad, but just imagine the stereotypical image of a drolling Englishman just drolling on about stuff. That's kind of what this felt like, and it's like, and then Mr. Yes, okay. Cheerio.